All right, I think I may be a little bit early, so I'm just going to give everyone a couple more minutes to find me. Okay, I'm going to get started. My name is Christy Hillock. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator with CJ Card Creations in Murray, Utah. So I'm so glad that you found me, and I hope that you enjoy either the live video or the replay. And I would be honored if you cased my card and shared pictures of that with me as well. So, just a few things I want to tell you. If you look in the description of this video, there are several different links. Oh, hey, I'm glad you're here. Several different links to sign up for in-person classes, to sign up for Paper Pumpkin, to join my team and be part of the Queen Bees, and also a link to my YouTube channel. So definitely worth checking all of those out. I also do monthly class to go kits that you get everything pre-cut and you get some product and then you get a PDF with detailed instructions. So I don't have February's quite ready, but it's coming, so keep an eye out for that. I wanted to show you these adorable little boxes are exclusive for Paper Pumpkin subscribers, but you have to get them just through the regular website. So I just made one up so that you could see how amazing they are. They certainly can be used for Valentine's, but I really feel like with the gold, they are pretty fancy, and you could do like for bridal shower favors or all sorts of different, reasons why you would want to give a small gift to someone. So this sentiment is from Special Moments, which is a celebration set. And it is all sentiments and it is wonderful. So I would strongly encourage you to get that before they go out at the end of February. So if you're looking for those boxes, they come in a set of 10 and they are just nice and flat and super easy to pop together. I mean, you just want to kind of fold them the opposite direction to make sure that those score lines really hold nicely, and then you just put it together and it's adorable. And then you can stamp on the hearts that are included, or you could also do like I did and make a separate label. And then it also includes, I don't know if I'm getting that back in there, this gold, it's not twine exactly, but sort of. So anyway, it's item number 160147 if you're looking for it. And again, you do have to be a Paper Pumpkin subscriber in order to get that. But I think that you could go subscribe right now and then go order them. So there is that. The next thing that I wanted to tell you is that starting on February 1st, we have this All Together suite coming out. And it is, and the paper alone is amazing. It's all black and white, so just different patterns, and you can color on this. You can do all sorts of different things. The stamps and dies that come with it are really focused on the hands and togetherness. And then there is a full set of Stampin' blends, which are our amazing alcohol-based markers that come in a whole range of skin tones, which we haven't had before. And so I think that is going to be wonderful. So definitely get this ordered. The blends will be in the next annual catalog, but the paper and the dies and stamps are while supplies last. So definitely don't wait on that. And I think that's everything. I do really appreciate it when you like and share my videos. Oh, my computer just started spazzing out. Oh, sorry. Anyway, so liking and sharing really helps me. And if you will put shared in the comments here, then I can see that you have done so, and I'll enter you in the drawing for a prize. And this week, the winner is, I'm not sure if you say it Tanya or Tanya, but Tanya Cook. So thank you for sharing the video 2 weeks ago. I really appreciate that. And Janie, if you're watching, I totally spaced giving you your set when you were here the other night, so I will get that to you. I also participated in a swap with the Sweet Stampede, which is the team that I'm on. And these may be a little hard to see because of the clear envelopes, but these are what came back, and they are all just so fun. So I wanted to just quickly show you some different ideas with the different celebration products. This daffodil paper is beautiful, and the Friendly Hello set comes with the stamps and the paper, and it is really nice. And then the adorable otters that I've shown you a couple of times. Here's a couple of different pattern or cards with those guys. And the rainbow, I don't know what it's called, but the rainbow designer series paper that's in there. And then this, let's see, Hello Sunshine is from that Special Moments stamp set that I was telling you about. And the bird and flowers are from the Friendly Hello. And more of the daffodil paper. And then just this one with this cute little girl. And I can't remember what that set's called either, but if you don't have a catalog, I will be happy to look it up for you or get a catalog to you. So I hope you enjoyed that little peek at what being a part of the Sweet Stampede is like. We do lots of swaps and meetings and all sorts of fun things. So let's get on to the card tonight. So this one is Flirty Flamingo with Melon Mambo ink, if I remember correctly. I did it last week because I was planning to be live last week and it didn't work out. But basically the idea is that you're going to stamp on a color of cardstock with a darker tone of the same color. And then we're going to whitewash. And so I am using this Calming Camellia free set. It's, let's see, you have to either order $300 yourself or host a party that has $300 in sales, and then you get this set for free. So we are going to use that as well as just a little bit of the Simply Marbleous Designer Series paper. And it comes in several different colors, and each sheet uses kind of two different colors along with the white. So I've really had a lot of fun with this paper so far. And is there any paper that we as crafters don't like? I mean, let's be real. But this is the original, and I wanted to change up the color scheme for the one today. So we've got a Coastal Cabana card base, and I made it go the other way. This one went like this, and it doesn't matter, total preference, but this is 4 1/4 by 11 scored at the 5.5 inch mark on the long side. So there's that, and then I have a 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 mat of basic white that I also just took my Stitch Strength rectangles dies and cut the center out of, because I can definitely use all of this and there's really no reason to leave it attached or leave it intact underneath a whole nother piece of cardstock. So I'm going to set aside all of that for the moment. This is a 4 by 5 1/4 inch layer of Pool Party. And then as you can see, I've already cut 2 hexagons. These are from the Beautiful Shapes dies that just came out. So I did cut just a little hexagon from the Simply Marbleous, and then it's a Coastal Cabana octagon behind it. So let's go ahead and stamp, and I am going to use, let's see here, going to use Coastal Cabana on the Pool Party, because I didn't want to go too dark. And after the first stamp, we may change our minds too. We'll see. That is the downside to changing up the color scheme, because I don't make it in advance, so we just kind of see how things work out. So I'm just going to ink this up. Try not to shake the camera too much. And I don't want any of them centered. I'm just going to kind of go all around. Oh, and that did not do what I want. So we're going to start again. Sometimes with a bigger stamp, it's better to ink like this, where you have the stamp face up and just press the ink pad onto it. So let's see if that does better. That is why paper has two sides. And that does work a little better. I think that should be dark enough for what we're doing. So go ahead and ink it again. So it doesn't matter how much space I start with, I never have enough. So with these bigger stamps, normally I would recommend using the Stamparatus, but because I want to move it and turn it, I just decided it was easier to put it on a block and just go for it. So that's what we're doing here. Okay, so that looks good. So I'm done with that large stamp. Now I'm going to bring in this leaf image or foliage, I don't know. I honestly would not recognize a camellia if I was out in the world, so I think I had heard of them, but that's about all I can say. So get that on there. And the way I did the other bits, there's not quite as much free space as I had with the Melon Mambo version, but I'm just going to put a little bit there, and I think that'll do. So I'll close up this ink pad before something happens. And the next thing that I'm going to do is bring in my white craft ink and just, okay. So I think I need to re-ink that a little bit, and that is pretty typical of the craft ink. It's really thick and it dries out really fast. So I'll just show you that process. And it does look like I somehow got some pink onto this. One never knows what goes on, but I am just going to take a little block and kind of, I mean, that also works it into the pad, but I now have ink that I can pick up. And I will bring in my blender pen here. And I'm just going to make sure that I've gotten all of that pink off. So it is stained, but there's nothing there. So now what I want to do is just pick up some of the white ink, and starting at the center of each flower, I'm going to work ink out. And you don't want to go over anything too much with a blender pen on regular cardstock, because it definitely will make the cardstock kind of pill up or tear. But it, it works great when you're just kind of doing a couple of brushes. And I don't think that I want to do anything to the actual center of the flower, so we'll just leave that like that. So I've been doing several different trainings, both business training and creative trainings, and my brain is kind of overloaded with ideas and projects that I would like to case and just all sorts of different things. And I swear there is just less and less time every day. So we are just going to make do, right? So as you can see, this is a pretty simple process. I think I cased this from Linda Dalkey, and I am just always really unsure of what to do with the white craft ink. It takes longer to dry, it's a little bit messier, and it just is, for some reason, kind of intimidating as well. So I was excited that she had done this technique with a stamp set that I had, so I knew it would work well. So, but yeah, using a blender pen with the craft ink is not a technique that I would have ever thought to try. So it's really great when you can make your supplies go even further than you realized. So get lots of different looks and uses. This stamp set is a distinctive stamp set, they call them. And so what that means is just that you get a whole lot more dimension in each image than our regular stamp sets. And you can see all of that here. So it's not just that I didn't get it stamped evenly. So we actually did pretty well considering how big the stamps are. So I know watching other people color is sometimes soothing and sometimes kind of tedious. So I'm trying to not spend too much time. And this is, entirely subjective. You can do as much or as little in as many or as few spots as you'd like. And just keep adding or, until you get the effect that you would want. I feel like I should fill space just chatting, but at the same time, I also recognize that hearing about other people's nonsense isn't always that enjoyable. So trying to, make sure that I'm giving you some helpful tips as we go. I'm glad you like the process. It really is, I like coloring anyway, but this is just such a different kind of technique with a really striking look, even though at first glance you wouldn't think you would get that much from it. All right, and I think that is going to do it on the ink there. So set that away where I can wash it later. Somewhere I had a cap. Oh, there we go. To the blender pen. And these will dry out eventually. I'm not sure. Let's see. It says acid free, but it doesn't actually say what is in it. So I'm not sure if, I think it probably would not work with alcohol based things, but anyway. Now I think I want it to be that way. Oh, and we do have one more stamp that I want to do just for the inside. There's, in addition to the foliage and the leaves, there's this beautiful little scroll that's very simple, but I feel like it adds a lot. So we'll just put this on our stitched rectangle, and then we can go ahead and adhere that to the inside of the card base. And then I have one more fun little technique once we finish with the stamping for the sentiment on the front. So I would love to hear requests or ideas, anything that you guys would like to see me do. I may not have the actual stamp set or die, but I can generally get pretty close. And I mean, like I said, I have been doing a lot of training, so I've got more creative ideas than I sometimes do, but I certainly would love to do things that you are specifically looking for. So I finally tried the Stampin' blends and alcohol on vellum the other night with my card class, and it turned out beautifully. I had so much fun with that. And one of my ladies talks about how she could just do nothing but that, and I can totally see why, because it is beautiful. All right, we've got that on there. I just want that craft ink to have enough time to dry. So I'm going to bring this over here, and I always like to line things up straight on my grid paper because I feel like it gives me a better shot at stamping straight. And since this is a hexagon instead of a circle, there is always the chance that I'm not going to get it straight. So I just want to test stamp over here. And it's pretty good. It slopes up just a little bit, but it's really hard when you are used to getting right over your work in order to stamp straight, to then have a camera right where your head wants to be. So I think that's straight enough, and we will take it. And I did just use Bermuda Bay ink for the sentiment because I wanted to make sure that it was dark enough on that marbled paper. So that looks good to me. I'm going to let that ink finish, and I'll bring in just a small piece of the frayed ribbon that's in the new catalog. And I'm also going to bring in my light Bermuda Bay Stampin' Blend. For this, I'm going to use my brush tip, and I am literally just coloring my ribbon. And you can add as much or as little color as you want, you know, just by building it up. We don't actually have Coastal Cabana Stampin' Blends, and I was afraid that the pool party just wouldn't look quite right. So I went ahead and I'm just using the light Bermuda Bay because it's really just kind of a shade darker than Coastal Cabana. All right. So if you didn't know about this trick, now you know, and it certainly helps you get a lot more mileage out of all of your white ribbons. Even the gingham ones we have that ribbon that came out last fall that's black and white, so you can make that any color with the black. So there is that. Now that is just about dry, so I think we'll go ahead and get it adhered. Okay. Get that on there straight-ish, you know. Straight seems to be pretty subjective. I don't know why. I would have thought that it would be consistent, but I feel like it's very different from, you know, angles. And this morning I looked at something and it was perfect, and this afternoon I feel like it's completely crooked. And I know that some of you have had that same experience, so at least I'm in good company. All right, so we will just mat this little hexagon. And I need some dimensionals. So a lot of times what I'll do is take, and you can see it bled through, but it certainly didn't color it. the same way. And this has gotten pretty dry. It's still a little damp, but I think it'll work. Um, so because the placement of the flowers turned out somewhat different from the original card, I'm just going to kind of decide where I want this to be and, make sure the ribbon looks the way I want it to. And I think that is going to work. So I'm just covering a little bit of white space there, or pool party space. Get just a little bit of glue on my ribbon now. And come back and pick that up. And then I'll flip it and get some dimensionals, and I'll hold the ribbon in place just slightly with those dimensionals as well. Just really want everything to stay put when you've got this much going on. So all right, set this back on here. And I really love how this ribbon frays. I think it's just kind of vintage, kind of shabby chic, but it is really pretty, especially colored. So here again, I don't know if that's straight or not, but I think we're gonna be happy. So just to finish it off, I'm gonna bring in our adhesive backed hexagons. So I love our embellishments that come already with adhesive because it just makes life that much easier. And these, I don't even know what color these are supposed to be. Maybe just jade or Bermuda bay and maybe petal pink. But I felt like it just really goes nicely because of the shapes. So I'm going for the greens. All right, so we will just kind of sprinkle these on, as some people like to say. I received a card from someone in the home office today, and it was so kind of her to send it to me in the first place. And then I learned from it too, because what she had done, I don't know where I want this. Maybe there. What she had done was mail it open. So when it first came out, I was like, oh, that's kind of weird that, the writing is on the front of the card. And then I got it all the way out of the envelope and realized that the reason she had done that is that the back piece protected the pokey little embellishments from whatever the mail gets up to. So, fun little tip in case you ever have anything. And if you don't want to do that, another thing that you can do is just set an additional piece of cardstock on top. That does increase your weight, which is, one reason why I don't like to do that. But anyway, lots of tips tonight. I hope that you find some of them helpful. I hope that you love this project and this technique. And if you could like and share this video, I would truly appreciate it. And I hope you have a wonderful night. Thanks again. Take care.